So I know last year a lot of people got really upset with me about this topic, but it is what it is, and we have to have these conversations. One of the big transformations that I am more passionate about is seeing how AI is transforming most and many white collar jobs. So a great example of this are doctors, right? Non surgical specifically. Surgeons, you're going to need them for a very long time until like robots become more accessible and cheaper and more accurate with the surgeries that they are successfully actually performing. But when we're talking about doctors who aren't performing surgeries, right, who are primarily used for doing diagnosis, etc., there's going to be a very huge shift, not even just because of the fast pace and rate of using AI, but we also have to look at this from a very economic perspective, and how there are a lot of people, particularly talking about the United States of America, who are uninsured. Not only uninsured, but they cannot afford to pay out of pocket for very expensive expenses, right? Like basic things like, obviously we talk about food, groceries, and stuff on this platform, but also, especially when you think about medical help, a lot of people don't even believe in preventative like health, from mental health to physical health. And so when we're talking about the future of technology, and especially with AI and med technology, a lot of hospitals are going to begin to see and figure out ways to strategically use AI to do the jobs that current, again, non-surgical doctors are doing. It just, the reality is the reality. Even now you're starting to see some hospitals that have adopted that software where that initial interaction that you would have with a person at a desk, that's now happening on like an iPad or a computer, etc. And so this industry drastically is going to change. I always said that nurses are safe, like people who have to physically touch humans, get them in and out of bed, feed them, clothe them. So I actually think lower level positions are much safer in the medical industry versus higher. Now, of course, doctors are going to be needed, right? Especially when you think about like emergency situations, etc. But I think your average like doctor that you're just having a conversation to have a diagnosis to see what is wrong based on what you say, like this is something that AI can be used for. And so I think that a lot of you should be looking at how these industry changes are not just even happening here locally in the United States, but also even abroad and internationally, because those are predictive analytics and trends that we can use for where we are today.